What's going on, guys? It's Gothalion, and we're back in Titanfall, and Respawn has already, 10 days after release, put out a patch of balances and bug fixes, and I think this is sort of telling of the kind of support we're going to get from Respawn. With the announcement of EA already scooping up Titanfall 2, a lot of people were worried that Respawn would put Titanfall 1 on the back burner already and start focusing on the next game, which I never thought was the case, but them already putting out a patch 10 days after the fact it's really nice, and I hope this sort of action continues, because if they can continue to keep Titanfall a balanced and fun experience, then I think that they'll have a nice player base all the way through the summer, which is what everybody is hoping for. There are still a few things untouched, but I'm sure that they're watching the community, because Respawn is super communicative with everybody in the community through forums and through tweets and everything. So if there's a lot of complaints about a certain thing or whatever, if something's overpowered or if something's unbalanced, I'm sure they're aware of it, and they're probably trying to find a way around it. The first thing we're going to go over is they've reduced the points acquired for certain defensive actions in games. In hardpoint games, they've slightly reduced the amount of points you get for defensive actions in hardpoint mode, and capture the flag overall. But in hardpoint mode, so you're going to get fewer points for just sitting still in a node. And I know I showed a match where I got like 14 kills in a single node defending, but you could also sit in a node and be top billing without firing a single bullet. And I've also been on the side of that happening, and that's kind of broken to me. I think what Respawn's really aiming at by reducing that and also reducing points for flag returns and carrier kills is to get this game into a sort of roaming defense, like a swing defense type situation. They've really sort of made it clear through game mechanics that they don't want you to camp in Titanfall. Titanfall is a shoot and go game, and if you're camping, then I don't think they want you to be top billing. They want to deter people from camping, because that's what they see for Titanfall. There's plenty of games where you can camp all day and get top billing, and if that's the game you want to play, then that's the game you want to play. But this is a game where you can run on walls and jump on the buildings and jump on the giant robots and pilot giant robots, and frankly, camping just doesn't fit into the equation, especially when taking out bots helps in attrition matches and moves along your Titan. So I think they're really aiming towards that sort of mobile defense thing and less on the camping side. If you guys disagree with me, let me know in comments why, and we can have a friendly discussion about this and that and the other. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but this is just how I feel about it. I don't feel like Titanfall is a game where you're supposed to be camping. Talking about attrition matches, this is one of my favorite changes they've done, and they've increased the score limit on attrition matches by, I believe, 50 points, which should make the game last just a few more minutes, and that is awesome. Attrition matches did feel like they went by just a little too fast, especially in a situation where, say, a team gets ahead a little bit and the other team starts to fight back, but you just don't have enough time. And this little raise in the attrition cap for winning should make those competitive matches just a little bit longer and make it just a little bit more possible for someone to pull a comeback out if they have a bad start to a game, and that is great. Now we're going to talk about Smart Pistol. Was lock-on damage or locking-on time affected? No, I don't think they wanted to touch that just yet. They did alter the damage when you're not locked onto a pilot, and they did alter the accuracy from hip firing. A lot of the times when you come up against a Smart Pistol player, they might just get one, maybe two shots locked on, and then they will just spray and pray with that hip fire. And I feel like this is Respawn trying to make sure that without a full dead-on lock-on, you're going to have a lower chance of killing a player. If you guys disagree with me, let me know. I think this also mostly comes into play with the amped Smart Pistol, which you can pretty much just spray and pray and get like maybe one shot locked on, and you'll take out a player outright. So I think this is their attempt to balance the Smart Pistol just a little bit without changing much to its key attributes and mechanics, and I think that's a good thing. But we'll see how this pans out if the community still has issues with Smart Pistol players, and I'll let you guys know how I feel about it in future videos. Kind Coming up next, we have explosives detonated by Dead Man's Trigger are now slightly delayed, and they also will now make a warning sound before exploding. If you're not familiar, Dead Man's Trigger is a thing that will set off all of your explosives when you die. If you die after throwing explosives, they will just vanish. This actually makes that your explosives a little bit more potent because you can sort of get those rise from the ashes and take out your killer kills, which is cool, but at the same time, it was kind of really fast, and the warning sound is also pretty awesome. So it gives the person who killed you just a little bit more time to react, and that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool, and it puts it more in line with the nuclear ejection that you have in the Titans. The last thing I want to talk about has nothing to do with any of these patches. They did have a few bug fixes in, none of which I've actually run into, and I went over all the changes that I felt were super relevant. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was NVIDIA is now working with Respawn to add GameWorks to its games, which adds a certain few special NVIDIA properties and graphical options into Titanfall. In short, they are making the PC version prettier. I don't know if this will affect AMD users. Obviously, it's going to affect NVIDIA users. The first thing they're adding is a TXAA, which is a very, very high-quality, low-resource anti-aliasing, which gets rid of those jaggies without making shit blurry along the edges, because a lot of anti-aliasing will make shit blurry or it'll chug too much on performance. So TXAA is awesome. It is GPU-driven anti-aliasing, and it's just awesome technology. Look into it. Do a Google search on TXAA. The next thing that they're going to be adding will pretty much increase how good shadows look. It's an ambient occlusion, and it's really awesome. It's really awesome. And overall, these two changes are going to make Titanfall just look that much more crisp on PC. Also, they're adding the ability to do 4K resolutions and an SLI profile, which is great for those high-quality PCs. So let me know what you guys think about all these changes, additional bug fixes, and additions to graphics settings. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later in Titanfall.